An environmental disaster in the Bay and beyond. Tens of thousands of gallons of oil is polluting the water, contaminating beaches, and poisoning wildlife. Some animals have died. The oil spilled from this container ship after it hit a tower under the Bay Bridge yesterday. With the sun now setting, today's cleanup effort is just about to end, and it is still unclear how much more work needs to be done. Environmentalists say this type of fuel oil is particularly harmful to wildlife.
This is a light film oil, and so as soon as you swim in it, it makes it sticky on your body. It seems to gel and get into thicker globules, and then it becomes harder to get off. And that's what's happening to birds right now.
Yeah, the oil slick looks a lot different than it did at this time yesterday. It now covers a huge area in the Central Bay. Best perspective from the air here. Chopper 5 was flying earlier today. This is near Angel Island. You can see just how widespread that slick is. The spill now extends from the Berkeley Marina to well outside of the Golden Gate. At least half a dozen beaches have been closed. The hardest hit in the Marin Headlands, Angel Island, and East Shore Alameda County. This, by the way, the worst oil spill in San Francisco Bay in nearly 2 decades. And we have team coverage on the environmental damage, the disaster response, as well as the cleanup efforts. We're going to begin with Jeffrey Schaub. He is live out on a boat in the bay this evening. Jeffrey?
We are on San Francisco Bay, Alan, and to think that the equivalent of 6 tanker truckloads of oil could do as much damage as this has done to spread out so quickly and so far, it is literally everywhere out here. This is what is floating all over San Francisco Bay. Huge clumps of black, super globby oil. So thick it looks like strips of asphalt. It didn't take us long to find the bunker fuel once we ventured out onto the bay from Fisherman's Wharf. It's everywhere. It's kind of hard to get up, isn't it? It's so globby.
Boy.
There you go. So this is what it looks like. Look at this. This is the gooey stuff that's all in San Francisco Bay, attaching itself to beaches, wildlife, native grasses, you name it. And this is the result. Less than a day after the fuel hit the water, birds and ducks like this little guy at Crissy Field were drenched with oil. Then we went 3 miles out into the Pacific Ocean, outside the Golden Gate, and saw a rare sight, porpoises bobbing up and down in the water. If only they knew there were large sheets of fuel oil all around them.
It's not quite like throwing a dynamite stick in the water. You don't see fish rise to the surface, but it affects the fish and the sea life chronically.
We rode out onto the bay with Mark Holmes of the Bay Institute, which for 30 years has worked to protect these waters.
The birds it will actually kill soon. If they get soiled with it, they can't fly. They'll drown in the water. They'll be unable to eat.
Outside the gate, 2 huge vessels were working to try to contain a massive spill area near Point Bonita Lighthouse, ironically just offshore from the Marine Mammal Center, which has already responded to distressed seals and sea lions. Holmes says despite best efforts by hundreds of people manning cleanup boats, history shows that most of the oil will never be contained.
You can see it's all broken up into saucer-sized bits, golf ball-sized bits. They'll never clean it up. It's just going to dissolve.
Why?
Because they have no technology to do it. There's no vacuum cleaner to come out here and suck this stuff up. It's not possible technologically to do it.
And you can smell it. That's the most amazing thing. We're out in the open ocean this afternoon, and you can smell this oil all around you. Now, this is what happens to it. We put some in this 5-gallon container, and it has stuck to the bottom like glue. It's incredible. Let's just hope it doesn't do as much damage as some people fear. Alan?
No, I think we're going to see the effects for weeks and months to come. Jeffrey, right now where you are in the bay, when you look over the side of the boat there, do you see some of the thick stuff, globs of it, or is there a sheen? What are you seeing right next to you now?
Well, actually, I'm not seeing any right here, right now, but earlier today we did. We are just off Crissy Field where they have containment booms along the beach to protect the area. But the problem is, as the tides come and go, the oil shifts around. So even though it might not be here right now, it could be in just a few hours.
You bet. All right, Jeffrey Schaub, live on the bay. Thanks.
And from the water to the land now, where that oil is washing up on beaches. And this is what it looked like at Fort Baker on the northern end of the Golden Gate today. You can see where the oil has come.